Welcome to the CPTM Smart Partners Hub. And today, as usual, is the end of the week, and it is 11th of August, but it's a very special day for the Smart Partners in financial inclusion in particular, but also in all those inclusion initiatives which are interacting with the financial inclusion. We are today launching the outcome of the most successful 6 central bank governors think tanking, so Ketumile Masire's think tanking, that took place at the end of June, beginning of July, at the CPTM Smart Partners Hub in London. The CPTM highlights and insights related to the main theme of the governors' think tanking was adaptive flexibility for leveraging the value of knowledge and data in the emerging digital landscape. A few days ago, in advance of the launch of the CPTM Highlights and Insights, I have shared with you one of the main outcomes of the think tanking, which is that leveraging the value of data and knowledge through smart partnership can only be achieved through the interconnections ongoingly, through a dialogue ongoingly managed in a smart partnership way among those involved, for instance, in financial inclusion, the governors of central bank and any other associated institutions or individuals, including those who are beneficiaries. And the financial inclusion type networks, they cannot achieve very much without engaging, among others, National Bureau of Standards. Due to the value of data, which is slowly becoming a reality, the financial inclusion and the adaptability and the flexibility related to instant changes and information that is available with analysis related to it cannot be achieved without engaging offices of national statistics, and so on and so on. Taking the financial inclusion alongside the other networks which are operative in relation to financial inclusion and to one another, one can carry forward the vision of the country actively. The Smart Partners think tanking governors and those who joined them also gave everyone an insight in relation to the need for ongoingly national visioning and for therefore securing the state and therefore requiring at any point of time through the interactions into a national smart partnership framework or in between countries, requiring a monitoring, very detailed monitoring of and landscaping of the emerging distributed digitization of data. This is what these circles, interacting circles, concentric and otherwise, together with a perspective of on networks connected with the other networks in our famous smart buckyball, and together with the spiral, which shows that this dynamics can only be achieved through ongoing dialogues which build from one to another and take forward intellectual equity and the people that are part of it and new people that are coming. And the Lorentz equation, which was for the first time expressed in Lesotho, it was related to networks and smart partners links, which are so visible, active and powerful in Lesotho, that through their interaction changes take place in a cohesive way. So our core group and fellows, Tom de Gregory, Professor Tom de Gregory, Professor Henry Zinachwevi, and a number of others already started to kind of articulate this overall outcome that was possible only due to the 6 central bank governors think tanking and their theme. So today, 11th of August, we are therefore launching the most comprehensive and we would say sophisticated hybrid content of the interactions that took place at the time and the connections of those interactions with the way ahead. We would want that this outcome to be the main point of reference in sequence through key issues of the way ahead for the next few webcasts with members and based on the feedback and the implementation as is already starting, as I understood, in Tanzania. So today, being the first day of the launch of the report, I like to simply focus on the first part, which is the reflecting part of the insights. The reflecting part of the insights was based and is based on personal, private, personal capacity interactions of the central bank governors, core group of central bank governors, who are representatives of all the other governors in the sense that their specific issues articulated in relation to financial inclusion, approaches for adaptive flexibility, progress since last year, the fifth think tanking that took place, to this year, and is most representative for the Commonwealth's 50 central bank governors, that they are in countries which are developed or emerging economies, small islands, group of islands, or any other configuration that we think of. So the Professor Bernal, as he is referred to, but otherwise a most experienced governor of Central Bank of Tanzania, moderated and led the reflecting session. And the experience that he shared on Tanzania, but also from his leadership and chairmanship of large, well-known association, international association specialized in financial inclusion, was most revealing in relation to the new strategic functions or evolving strategic functions of central banks as a result of digital technology and data technologies. The governors and those representatives, they express, as we call, pains and problems that they reached. All these are being shared with you in the outcome, highlights and insights, and I would very much recommend you are trying to absorb the unique outcome of that discussion. And the reason why it's unique is because the discussion took place in a smart partnership conducive space in the CPTM Smart Partners Hubs library, where there is an interaction without bias, without media, without audience to speak to, and therefore the result is most valuable and not very often achievable. Now, it's not achievable not only because of a one-off meeting or discussion in one day, but because of the 7 years or so of relationships built in a smart partnership way among leading central bank governors who trust each other, trust the atmosphere in which they meet, and above all, they know that they can count on sharing with those relevant parts of their governments and other countries, so that they are implementable. So I would like to finish today the first part of the highlights and insights that we are launching today by mentioning that once again that the central bank governors have been leading also the celebrations of the Seketwile Masire, former president of Botswana, CPTM fellow, CPTM companion, and we are very grateful to them for this. It was a great honor for all of us to follow the governors in our remembrance of Seketwile Masire while they were having their very successful think tanking at the CPTM Smart Partners Hub in London. So next week I will come back with the insights related to accelerating session, innovating, securing, and anchoring. And those are supported by uniquely selected and relevant Smart Partners reading tips which form a context which, again, without which one cannot appreciate the value and the impact of the think tanking that took place this year at this point of time. Since then, a number of things in parallel took place. Just to mention one which is extremely relevant and which probably will be dealt with by the National Statistics Inclusion Initiative, which supports and interacts with the financial inclusion. The impact of data is quite visible and in a most experiential way. Most of the National Statistics Office, including the British ONS, the UK National Statistics Office, they took measures, I'm reading from the Financial Times, to deal with the administrative information that they make available in a full access to the private sector. Now, it is very difficult actually to achieve a comparison with the available administrative information that private sector gives without a particular attention given to data. And we will be sharing about that later. In Financial Times again, just today, the banks a few banks form a NATO-style alliance to combat fraud. This is by the way of securing the state and the financial inclusion with cyber security and an important digital strategy to overlap with the trade, agriculture, energy, etc. Finally, today, Friday 11th, the School of International Futures is finishing their retreat, one-year retreat, and we will be able by next week from one of the CPTM members to share his views about this most experienced and leading school of foresight. So, have a nice weekend, but please do try to explore, exploit, use, and interact on the basis of the important outcome of the think tanking that took place in June led by the governors of central banks. Come back next week. Hope you send feedbacks.